This is the luxury world. Get inspired with us today and tomorrow. Once again, Rolex slipped into silence. Several celebrated models are no longer showing up in display cases, but there are no announcements, no confirmation, no explanation. When Rolex initiates such quiet moves, it creates a void filled by collectors, analysts, and enthusiasts attempting to decode the brand's intentions. The result is a market in flux, where every whisper becomes a theory and every absence fuels a frenzy. Everyone is talking about the Rolex market, but from the outside, it feels like a total mystery. You walk into an authorized dealer, and the display cases are empty, while online, the prices for the very same watches are thousands of dollars over retail. It is a confusing, often frustrating situation that's left many would-be buyers feeling shut out. In this ecosystem, time is not only a feature, but also a currency. Value is not solely defined by craftsmanship, but by rarity, availability, and predictive awareness. In this video, brought to you by the Luxury World, we will expose the inner workings of the Rolex market and give you an insider's look at what is really going on. Please subscribe to Luxury World for exclusive access to upcoming insights, curated content, and expert. At the center of much of the current speculation is the Rolex Submariner Hulk, the green dial and green bezel powerhouse that once drew polarized reactions but has now earned its place as a modern legend. Originally retailing at approximately $9,350, the Hulk has seen secondary market prices surge to $20,000, $22,000, with stickered examples commanding even more. Officially discontinued, the Hulk's myth continues to grow, driven by its vibrant aesthetic and limited production window. Fluctuations in its market value resemble the volatility of digital assets, erratic yet magnetic. The possibility of a future reissue in another shade remains ever present, but until then, the original Hulk retains a firm grip on collector demand. Another classic under a renewed spotlight is the GMT-Master II Pepsi. The red and blue bezel is one of Rolex's most iconic visual markers, yet its availability has begun to dwindle. With retail set at $10,700, gray market prices now float between $16,500 and $17,200, depending on bracelet type. While not officially discontinued, this model has grown scarce, and authorized dealers have become notably vague. The lack of transparency has only intensified speculation. The Pepsi's timeless, equally suitable for vintage purists and modern collectors, means that any move toward retirement would send ripples through the entire market. Meanwhile, the ceramic Daytona remains the brand's undisputed status symbol. With its caliber 4130 movement, chronograph capability, and 72-hour power reserve, it embodies the fusion of engineering excellence and design mastery. Retail pricing is $15,100, but secondary market valuations now range from $28,000 to $30,000. Allocations remain elusive, generally reserved for top-tier clients. Despite the hype, it delivers on every promise, whether evaluated by horological merit or cultural significance. In the GMT family, the two-tone yellow-gold reference 126713 GRNR has emerged as a quieter favorite. Retailing at $15,200, it currently trades around $17,500 on the gray market. While many continue to chase Pepsi and Batman bezels, this version blends sophistication with wearability, offering steel durability and golden opulence without overstating either. It is quietly positioning itself as a discreet grail among those seeking rarity without the usual fanfare. The Rolex Submariner Kermit also remains relevant in today's shifting landscape. With its signature green bezel and black dial, the current model continues to attract both seasoned collectors and newer enthusiasts. After reaching nearly $24,000, prices have now stabilized between $14,000 and $15,600. Early production units, particularly Mark I references, sit closer to $13,200. Retail pricing holds at $10,800, though access remains limited, often requiring strong dealer relationships. The Kermit is no longer the loudest watch in the room, but its steady demand, modest scarcity, and cultural importance have helped it maintain long-term potential. Another model garnering increased attention is the Rolex Sprite GMT, a bold departure with a green and black bezel and a left-handed crown. Despite its unique configuration, retail remains at $11,650, while gray market prices have crept to $16,200 to $16,300. Its relatively short production span, coupled with Rolex's historically conservative design approach, has led many to suspect that discontinuation could be imminent. Some collectors are already consolidating inventory, acquiring full sets in anticipation of a future spike in demand. Whether it's run-ins or not, the Sprite already holds a distinctive place within the brand's modern offerings. One of the brand's most visually refreshing releases, the Sky Dweller Mint Green Dial, has quickly become a breakout success. Built with the caliber 9002 movement, featuring an annual calendar, dual time zone functionality, and a 72-hour power reserve, it serves both as a technical showcase and a fashion-forward statement. At retail price $15,650, the secondary market has pushed values to $24,000 on the Jubilee and $22,500 on the Oyster. The mint green dial's popularity is paradoxically viewed as a potential liability, given Rolex's history of pulling successful models without notice. Should that occur, the gold variations in yellow and Everose are likely to become even more elusive. Meanwhile, older Sky Dweller configurations priced between $16,500 and $17,800 continue to attract long-view investors seeking value with less volatility. Further up the pricing ladder sits the Sky Dweller in rose gold with blue dial, a timepiece that has transitioned from catalog model to modern legend. Once regarded as an underappreciated gem, it now commands over $63,500 on the gray market. Solid gold versions in other configurations remain active in the $33,000 to $35,000 range. Though less visible in public discourse, these models have steadily been appreciated, largely because they have avoided the hype cycle. For those seeking opulence without attention, they provide an ideal path forward. On the more stable end of the spectrum, references such as the GMT-Master II Batman continue to hold their position with quiet strength. Their pricing remains consistent, and availability, while limited, has not reached the crisis levels seen in other references. Conversely, the root beer GMT has experienced a stealthier disappearance, with authorized dealers reporting limited to no allocation. This vanishing act has made acquisition increasingly dependent on secondary sources, where prices have also risen in kind. As 2025 unfolds, the Rolex landscape more closely resembles a commodity exchange than a traditional watch marketplace. Dealers are adapting rapidly, balancing allocation shifts, customer demand, and pricing volatility. Models once considered attainable have now become speculative assets. Inventory rotates quickly, and windows of opportunity are shorter than ever. In this environment, strategy outweighs sentiment. Ownership decisions are being guided not solely by personal preference, but by predictive analytics and market reading. The right acquisition at the right time can yield exponential returns or ensure lasting value in an otherwise unstable luxury space. Timing, now more than ever, defines success in Rolex collecting. Models such as the Sprite, Kermit, and Pepsi may be on the edge of retirement. Others, like the Sky Dweller and Daytona, continue to solidify their roles as cornerstone grails. Across the lineup, the underlying lesson is clear. Rolex does not simply release watches, it manages momentum. What is available today may not exist tomorrow, and value often emerges in the moments between announcements. This has been an eye-opening look behind the scenes of the Rolex market. What we have learned from these dealers is that the market is not a single, uniform entity, it is a complex ecosystem. The so-called scarcity is not a monolithic problem with a simple solution, but rather a perfect storm of long-term brand strategy, a booming secondary market, and the AD's own complex business incentives. Which reference do you think will be the next to disappear, and which overlooked model is on the cusp of becoming tomorrow's grail? We would love to hear your perspective. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments and give the video a thumbs up if you found it insightful. Do not forget to follow Luxury World for more curated content on fine timepieces and market insights. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to welcoming you again in our next video.